US Income Tax Department is scanning financial dealings and significant transactions you have made as a taxpayer over the year to assess whether you're filing the actual income tax that you're supposed to or whether you're evading income tax. Now, it's an interesting story. It scares a lot of people, but you have an income tax IT lens on individuals, especially freelancers and people who are on contracts, whose financial dealings over the year are now being looked into. What government is essentially trying to do, or the tax authority rather, is trying to do, is to understand if people are filing their actual real tax or not, and also hope that they file advance tax as opposed to declare tax towards the end of the financial year.
Right. So let's just try to understand what is going on here, Shweta. What happens is that you don't really pay all your, for somebody who has a tax liability of, let's say, 10,000 rupees or above, and that is the rule set out in the rules of the Income Tax Department, any tax liability which is 10,000 rupees per annum or more, you will not wait till the end of the year, in fact, pretty much the next financial year, to file those taxes retrospectively. And hence, there is a mechanism called the advance tax payment. Now, what the advance tax filing does specifically is that you and me, for example, right, we are salaried employees working in TV9 Group. Now, there is a monthly paycheck that we get, and then there is a tax which is deducted in any case before that salary hits our accounts. Now, organizations, including ours, will have to file in every quarter, file a bulk of the income taxes as advance tax with the Government of India. Now, once you file this advance tax, the tax liability on the organization or on individuals like us is diminished significantly, because then by the 31st of July, which is usually in the next financial year, which is usually the date by which you've got to file your income tax correctly in a proper formatted manner, that tax liability, or sort of rather, you know, that liability to cough up a huge chunk of taxes at the end of the year gets diminished, because we have filed our advance taxes now
but
for the financial year.
But it's good for the government.
And it's good for the government,
Absolutely.
right? So while
and
the
it's
government
also important to
encourages,
point out to our viewers right now, why should they file advance income tax? What does it really do?
Right. So what it does for the government and what it does for the country is it gives the government liquidity, right? So like, we don't want our salaries to come to us at the end of the year, and we want it to come in equal monthly installments. For the government, it comes in quarterly installments, and that is the income of the government. That is pretty much among the only ways that the government makes money, is through taxes. So advance tax to be filed every quarter. Now, the difference comes in the month of March, because instead of the 31st of March, it is expected that advance taxes are filed by the 15th of March, which incidentally is this coming Friday. So by the 15th of this month, advance taxes are expected to be filed. Now, who needs to file these advance taxes? Salaried people, contractual employees, businesses that have a taxable income of over 10,000 rupees. So it's pretty much the entire country, right? You're looking at anybody who's eligible to pay taxes, does not have a zero tax liability, needs to file advance taxes by the 15th of March. Now, what the tax authorities are saying specifically this time around is that make sure that you file your advance taxes absolutely accurately, correctly, because we are using big data, we are using technology, we are using AI, and we know what you're spending on. So if there is any mismatch in how much you're declaring as the income you're drawing, and if there is a mismatch between that and what you're really spending money on, we know that your real income is perhaps a little higher than your declared income.
You know, it's just for the clarity's sake, for each of us who is a taxpayer out there, how does the government really know what kind of expenses we are making? Are you suggesting that they're looking into our banking transactions or the investments, or perhaps the major significant expenses that we are making? How does the government know how much we are spending?
Right. So, for example, if you've purchased a house, and we've seen house sales, car sales pretty much go through the roof, right? So if you've purchased a house and that house has been registered, there's a notary where you have registered, you've given your PAN number as, you know, as the details that go into you know, notifying that house and registering that house, then the government knows that, hey, there's a house which costs, let's say, 60 lakh rupees or 1 crore rupees, but you haven't really taken an EMI on that 60 lakh rupee or 1 crore rupee loan. Hence, you haven't taken a loan. That is money that you have put in. Where did you get that money from if you're saying that you're earning only 20 lakh rupees per annum?
Makes sense.
So this is one of the ways, right? Similarly for car sales, you go, you buy a car. I think any half-decent car is not going to cost you anything less than 10 lakh rupees. Now, you buy a 10 lakh rupee car, let's say with a 2 lakh rupee loan or a 3 lakh rupee loan. but your declared income is perhaps 10 lakh rupees per annum. So how does the government, how do you justify as a citizen to the government that your real income is what you're declaring?
Absolutely.
There are other sources of money coming into your account on which you're eligible to pay taxes, but perhaps you're not. So the income tax department is now saying that we've got big data and we've got AI and we know exactly what you're spending your money on, and that better be the right amount which reflects in your income tax filing as well, and hence you avoid any penal action that may be due to you.
So your income should commensurate with your expenses. If they don't, you've got to worry. It's also interesting to point out, for any big high value purchase, you've got to give your PAN card. So the government already knows what you're spending without having to take a look into your banking transactions, your financial data. For any high value income, for any high value purchase, you are anyway submitting. So that becomes a part of your tax liabilities. Government therefore knows what you are spending, how much you're earning, and if it's a mismatch, you're likely to get that notification from the government asking you to file advance taxes very soon.